They're back.
Like we always do about this time.
I don't know.
What's going on in the world? It's your girl, Black Barbara Walters.
Chill, welcome on in the building.
And of course, the man with the grandmaster plan is Detroit Melly Mel.
What up?
Welcome to another edition, another episode of your favorite podcast, Gang. If y'all don't know the name of the show, y'all didn't watch the intro that we worked so hardly on. It is the I Often Wonder Gang, and we have another great show. But before we dig into all of that goodness, that scrumptious conversation that we let y'all eavesdrop in, scrumptious, and we let y'all eavesdrop in every Friday. Guess what? We got to get the preliminaries out of the way. Little house cleaning. So you can find all of our information on the website www.ioftenwonder19.com. He was actually normal today. Yeah. Let's give it up for Jamel.
Yeah, he was tame.
Good job today.
He was tame.
Your class may be premature.
Hey, I gotta get him in. We'll get him in. All right. There's only a certain time that you actually nice.
Give me some time.
Hold my beer.
Hold it.
Hold my beer.
Listen, y'all can already tell the tomfoolery is taking off. It doesn't change at all. And today is
here's foolery. I'm actually tame today. I'm good.
He's the reason for the name tomfoolery. Okay, I need to call it male-foolery is what I need to call it because it starts with him. And then you usually rub off about 30 minutes into the show.
Whoa.
Halfway.
Did you just lump me into that?
I did. About halfway into the show, there you come.
Okay, maybe I deserve it. I don't care.
Yes, you do.
Right. And then I usually come in following suit, all right?
It depends on how foolish me and Mel act. Determines your foolery
it
level.
Does, and it depends on if I'm petty for the day or not. And today I'm feeling petty Betty.
Yeah,
all right?
I don't know. You kind of showed a little pettiness before we got on that.
That's why I just said I feel petty Betty today. Okay, today's no
she said where the interns at.
Alex.
Oh, then she called her name. She called her name.
You name dropping now? Oh wow. Yeah, you want a different level of petty. Yeah. Let's get through this so we can get past your pettiness.
On the website, guys, if you go down to the bottom, you'll find all the social media platforms, everything that we are on. You guys can go and join the Patreon page. And you can get all of the merch that you see the guys wearing for our sister show, IOW Sports, which are ran by these two. Which they had an amazing show about an hour ago.
Yeah, so draft show.
What, draft show was nice. Y'all were all, that was awesome. Yeah. I was listening to it on my way to the studio.
Yes.
So not only can you do that, however, there's also greatness that has arrived for both Apple and Google. And it's the IOW Network app and the internet radio station.
It's here.
All right.
Listen, this guy right here has been working tirelessly. When I say that he has been working tirelessly, I really do mean that.
Appreciate it.
A few emails, he probably cussed the motherfuckers out.
He probably did. He texted me, was like, hey, go listen to it, make sure everything flows right. I texted him some things and he got right on it and fixed it. And man, listen, you don't need no K975. You don't need no 10.3.9. Yeah. You don't need none of that stuff. Just log into the app, man.
Log into the app.
You'll hear all.
What were those?
Those are radio stations.
Oh, I don't listen to radio.
Nobody does. No one does.
Except for the internet radio.
Yeah. So just go ahead and download the app. You'll hear everything. You don't have to worry about locking your notifications in. Because guess what? As long as you're on the app at 6:00 every Friday, you'll hear us. Yeah. You'll hear the sports show at 3:00 every Monday and Thursday. You'll hear the late night show, and we got so much more coming up, guys. We've got, That'll be that chicken
Got
nugget.
Good.
That'll be that chicken nugget. I sit down before work.
Too much Taco Bell?
I had Taco Bell yesterday.
Oh yeah, Taco Bell yesterday.
They've got a good thing on that. Shout out to Taco Bell if y'all want to endorse us. Hey,
really?
How y'all doing?
I'm waiting for Modelo to endorse.
I know,
I'm about tired of drinking that much
endorse
Modelo.
me. I don't care who it is.
No, I do care who endorses me because some of it is not good endorsement.
No, we don't need no Blue Chew, bro. We don't need no Blue Chew.
I don't need no Pornhub endorsement. None of that. Okay.
I mean, I don't
how much
know.
y'all paying?
It depends on how much they paying. You know, if they
anyway, back to the show because they're about to go off.
Be stroking.
What?
Anyway, we got a guest. We got a guest. Come on.
Listen,
get it together.
We have another
Michael
amazing we have another amazing podcaster who also is a part of the Sirius XM family who is he just does some great things. He's been a sports sports anchor. He's done comedy.
What?
Come and go.
He is he's somebody who actually just loves enjoying to meet new people, new friends, old friends.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a pleasure that we actually get to sit down and talk with him. Jamel,
right.
You actually set this up. So did I miss anything?
Oh no, you did a wonderful job.
I did a wonderful job. You know, my backstory.
He the Swiss Army knife of podcast.
He really is. I'm excited to have this good conversation with him. He likes a lot of one-on-one. Today you got 3-on-1. Let's get it popping with Mr. Jeff.
Open it up. Say what?
What?
What
What are you doing?
Right, he said 1-on-1, 3-on-1. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Sammut, what's up?
Mr. One.
Welcome to the show.
Look, I'll say the one thing I haven't done is hosted a show between those two guys. So, and I don't think that's something I'm ever gonna do.
That's okay. When we come to Canada, I'm putting you right in my seat, and I'm gonna take the end seat next to Lamar. Okay. I told Allison the same thing. You can have my seat. I'll take the end seat. All right.
No, I like this arrangement just fine. Let's keep it this way. I'm good.
How you doing today, Mr. Sammut?
Oh, hey, hanging in, man. Because it's funny when you ask that question right now, a year into the pandemic. With some places, I'm here in Toronto and Ontario, and COVID is terrible here. Everything's shut down, and it needs to be. I was doing a Zoom call with some friends in Florida, and some friends in Toronto as well. And I said to my friends, in Toronto, I said, "How you guys doing?" "Oh man, I don't know. It's just it's one day at a time, And then my friends in Florida did join in, and they said, "How you guys doing?" "We're great." And one was smoking a cigar, and she was I'm not joking. She was smoking a cigar. "That's fine. Everything's good." "But how was your pandemic?" "Well, just got to mask up a little bit. We're fine. Went to dinner the other day." Went to dinner.
Hey, I went to dinner the other night.
Yeah, Florida wide open.
Yeah, they wide.
I haven't done anything like that.
I went and sat down in a restaurant for the first time not last night, night before last.
Really?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was actually pretty decent. Like we went to a steakhouse. They really cleaned everything down, and the lady was like, I had to tell her, "You can move a little closer to the table so I can hear you because I can't hear you."
Through the mask.
The mask, yeah. So
how'd you feel though? Did you feel like any anxiety being in a restaurant, being served, being around other people?
I did not. However, my fiance did, so she was kind of. She gets more nervous than anything.
It's funny that you asked that question because I've been to a couple of restaurants, had outings with the family, but we strictly go to restaurants that have outside seating. I feel a little bit more at ease just outside. Every now and then your waitress comes up to you and of course takes your order, your drink order, but they pretty much leave you alone. So and then you got your spacing. So I feel all right. So.
Haven't done anything close to that. Grocery store at home. That's it.
Grocery store at home. Hey, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
It's all I can do. There's nothing else open.
Yeah.
However, being a DoorDasher and Grubhub is making wonderful money right now.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Nobody is going anywhere. So
that's what I do.
That's what I do too. You see that right here on my phone.
Tell me, I could have got some money.
Oh, where?
I don't know why I didn't tell you.
Yeah, you should have told me. I could have got.
It was like 2:00 in the morning when I did it.
Well, that's another story. Go ahead.
Anyway, back to the topic on hand. You see, we go on tangents. However, before we even dig into our questions, let everybody know where they can find you on SiriusXM. Let them know all of your just plug yourself.
Plug away.
I'll just say, check us out on SiriusXM Canada Talks channel 167. That's the name of the channel, and the name of the show is Canada Now, and I'm on from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern. So depending on where you listen, but 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern. But we're available on demand as well at Jeff Sammut on Twitter, at Sammut Jeff on Instagram. Though I'm a boring Instagram follow. So it's fine. You want to follow me there, but you're gonna be like, did I even follow this guy? I don't even see him. So it's kind of boring that way.
That's me on Twitter.
I save my good stuff for the show, and some people don't even think that. So I save my good stuff for the show.
So how did you get into the business, Jeff?
To win over my mother's love. Didn't work.
Oh, yes.
I love you, mama. Hold it down. P.O.P.
Didn't work. Well, originally I wanted to be the shortstop for the New York Yankees, and I'm still holding out hope that maybe I get that phone call.
Hold on tight.
But yeah, I'll be 70, and I'll be like, did I get the call? That's how. Although they probably could use me right about now. Anyway,
yes.
They're terrible. But no, I got into radio at a very, very young age. Honestly, my love of radio did come from my mom because she listens to the radio all the time.
Okay.
And when I was a teenager, I knew I wanted to get into radio. I knew that. So I was in radio starting at 17 years old. Before I actually went to college and stuff. I was already working in radio. And I went to college and graduated, and I've been in radio for more than half my life. So that's why I got into it. And I really am one of the fortunate ones where I found what I wanted to do and early, and I've been in it, and I still love what I do. And I would do it for another 26 years or whatever it's been. I would keep doing it. So
wow. That's
yeah.
Good,
so I've been very lucky that way.
So since you've been in it so long, how did you narrow down what you wanted to be like your topics, what genre and what segments you wanted to actually do? Because radio covers a wide variety of everything. So what was your deciding factors in that? Well,
first off, in getting into the industry, I was open-minded. I would have taken any job doing anything in the industry. And I don't think a lot of young people in radio would do that right now. I think they have something specific they want to do, and that's what they want to do. And, I guess that's fine and everything, but sometimes you think you know what you want to do, and then it doesn't work out that way. So I was open-minded, and I was willing to do anything. And the first real job I took was being a technical director. And it's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a sports play-by-play person or have a sports radio show. But I took a job as a technical director, and it really opened up a lot of doors for me because I got to really educate myself being behind the glass and learning other people's crafts. And on top of working in radio, like being in a radio station and working on radio shows, I got to be a technical producer for, so, the Raptors, are here in Toronto. Let's say the Miami Heat come to town. So the Miami Heat, they'll send over the broadcasters, but instead of sending all the equipment and the producer, they send over the broadcasters, and then they would hire the company that I worked for to supply the equipment and the producer. I would be that producer, and I would bring the equipment. So in doing that, it was a really cool job. But in doing that, I got to meet so many broadcasters from across the U.S., from across Canada, and benefit from their experience through just dialogue off the air, but also hear what their craft was like on the air. So I spent many years behind the glass, and also part of what I got to do was I got to flex my comedy muscle, and I got to write a lot of comedy skits for a morning show in Toronto and voice a lot of characters. And because I didn't want my work to get stale, I started studying at Second City, and I got accepted into a program there where I got to study there for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
And in doing that, it's funny how that really helped me in my radio career, not just getting my creative juices flowing, but also it instilled a confidence in me that I didn't have when I started in radio, because there's some people that start and they want to get on the mic and they want to make their mistakes early and they want to be on the air. I wasn't ready. I really wasn't ready, and I wasn't any good. And being on stage and studying through Second City gave me a lot of confidence because I failed a lot, and I failed in front of a live audience on stage. And when you die a death on stage, that's very humbling, and it helped me. It helped me through doing improv, through doing stand-up, where you have bad nights and it's just not working. So when I got on the air, when I started to do a radio show, if I had bad shows, it's like, well, the audience is not right in front of me and they can't throw things at me. So how bad could this be? I've got another show tomorrow night. So I did an overnight show, and I'm sure I was terrible, and I made my mistakes, and I got to do a radio show and spend a lot of time in sports radio. But then it got to a point where I didn't just want to do sports anymore. I wanted to do other things, and it led me to Sirius XM. And I don't know if you hear the show, but I could talk about a variety of things. Today I talked to somebody about fitness. Then I talked about the future of work. Then I talked to someone who is looking to change the religion of Islam, who has been shot a number of times, who has had fatwas laid on her. Then I talked to the director of a movie about internet hacking. Then I talked Raptors. Then I talked about traveling to Alberta. So just in one show today, I've had 6 or 7 completely different conversations.
Right.
And I love it. That's something that I want to do because I'm a curious person. And when we started this show about 5 years ago, the people behind the scenes, my producers, they said, "Don't worry, we'll tailor the topics to stuff that you like." And I said, "No. I want the exact opposite. I want to do stuff I like, but I also want to do stuff that I don't know anything about. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I never have been. Why start now?"
Now, it's interesting you say that, because it kind of hits on a lot of things all of us collectively talk about and like, and some things me as an individual. I like when we was talking about doing the show, one of the things I wanted to do was talk to people that I don't agree with, talk to people I don't know things about, because it challenges you and helps you to grow intellectually. You know, you learn different things from different people or stuff you don't know. People you don't agree with, if you can sit down and have a good conversation, and you may come out that conversation still not agreeing, but you may come out that conversation with a better understanding of their side and come out a better understanding of your side.
I have at least a couple of people a week that are on their politics are completely different. Their ideas of climate change, how to handle the pandemic are completely different. I have an opposing viewpoint, and I'm not afraid to share it, but I'm also not afraid to hear the other side of things, because they might change my mind. I might change their mind, but my ultimate goal is I want the audience to walk away after that conversation making up their own mind.
Right.
That's
right.
good.
I like
That's
that. I like
it's
that.
important for them to hear both sides of things.
That is very true. Hold that thought. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, guys, we're going to dig into actually some of these topics that he just mentioned into. I'm going to have a good little forum of discussion. Y'all stay tuned.
Do you have an upcoming event and you need desserts? Millie J Sweets can take away all of your worries. While you relax, we can prepare scrumptious, delicious, and professionally catered desserts for your event. We offer a wide assortment of cakes, pies, and pastries to ensure your event will be one to remember. Call us at 704-685-7584 or come to the website at millie-j-sweets-treats with a Z .square.site. Remember, Millie J Sweets.
Really?
I was feeling that. That was wonderful. Welcome back to I Often
We back.
You
good?
I'm feeling
Did you
myself
get all
today.
that? I know.
I'm feeling myself today.
I think you're feeling real good because it's been a minute since you got on the mic.
It has been. I have missed my
Did you
seat.
recognize that little tune there, Jeff?
Oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm, man. It's the best show. Best comedy. I like you better than Seinfeld, easily. No, hands down. Look, I got a picture of Larry David. So, yeah, right there.
Oh wow. Oh
Larry
okay.
David right there.
Oh, okay.
Look at
I
him.
got Larry right behind me, man.
Can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that.
Curb it.
We're gonna come back to that to Curb Your Enthusiasm. I think Lexus has
No, we go right into Curb. Go right on into it.
oh.
You
So-
know, we organic. Say it with your chest.
Right. I thought you had something, but what about that show did you like?
It's honesty.
Okay.
That's what I love about it. I love. I mean, Larry David, the character, is an embellished version of the comedian, but there's an honesty to it. I mean, let's be real. I mean, honestly, do you want to see a couple making out outside your office window? I don't.
Absolutely not.
I can't stand that kind of affection. And frankly, I agree with Larry David. I don't like to see people that are happier than me. So I like that honesty about the show.
Yeah, I enjoy Curb Your Enthusiasm. I can't say the word.
I'm about to say, I thought you were about to say a whole other word. He got my
yeah. I was like, I don't know where you're going with that word, bro. Curb your enthusiasm.
But, I enjoy the show. I don't know if I enjoy it more than Seinfeld, but
It's different. It's different. I enjoy it more than Seinfeld. I mean, I say kiddingly, it's better than Seinfeld, but they're two completely different shows.
Yeah,
you know, Seinfeld is so scripted and prepared and you know, really thought out. And Larry David comes up with a storyline, and then he has a bunch of brilliant improvisers. You know, going through scenes and stuff comes up organically within the show. But it's different. Curb bathes in its awkwardness, and Seinfeld really delves into the humor of a specific situation. So it's apples and oranges.
Right. And that's what the awkwardness is what I like about the show.
Yeah, me too.
Enough. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's what makes a show good, because it takes away from the super scripted. It makes them look humanized, in my opinion.
Like at one time he was on the airplane and a lady asked him, "Can you know, I got this bad condition. You mind changing seats?" And he's like, "No." You know, what makes it funny is because with quote unquote a normal situation, you assume a person would say yes, especially if you come with a good reason. Oh, okay, you got a medical condition, and you're like, no, I'm not doing that. You know,
I like my seats.
And how many times do we agree to do something and we're pissed off for it? We're pissed off about it instead of just being honest and going, no, I don't want to do it.
So I think that's the brilliance of the show. You know, because
and you know, and I love The Office, you know, for its awkwardness.
Yes,
as well.
That is my show.
British version and American version. I love it for its awkwardness. And it's something. There's something about. I don't know how old you guys are, but for me, I'm in my almost mid 40s, and later in my life, I've enjoyed awkwardness. In talking about comedy in Second City, the last time I did stand up, it was years ago, and I wasn't any good at it. But, you know, I enjoyed doing it. The last time I went up on stage, I had an awful set, and I stayed up longer than I had intended to, because I was just enjoying how much the audience did not like what I was saying. I would just look out, and I knew everything was falling flat. It was a bad night. It was like a Monday night. It was just terrible. But I wasn't particularly good. I was kind of tired that night as well. I wasn't particularly good. I didn't work out the material, which was part of the reason why I was up there. And I could just see how everybody was not enjoying themselves. And normally people might say, I'm going to get off because this is not working. I kept going. I did an extra 3-4 minutes just because I was enjoying how much people hated me being up there. And I thought, I better not keep doing this as a career, because I'm just going to ruin lives here. They're just not enjoying it.
That's the fun part of it. Who can I ruin today?
Well, I mean, since we're on the topic of comedy,
okay, let's go.
Yeah.
What's your Mount Rushmore? Comedians.
Of comedians?
Oh yeah, your Mount Rushmore. We need it.
Larry. Okay, how many is that? That's 4, right? All right. So 4.
Yeah, we're gonna go with 4.
You ask me tomorrow, and it'll be somewhat different.
Yeah.
But today, my answer, it would always be Larry David.
Okay.
It's Larry David. It's Jerry Seinfeld.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It's such a tough question, because do you go with current? And if I did, Jim Gaffigan for me would be up there. I'm a big fan of his, and I've gotten to know him.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis Black, just
Okay.
again because of honesty. I think
Yeah.
Lewis Black is up there. But you're talking all time, and then you got to include Robert Klein. You got to include Rodney Dangerfield.
I love
Jim
Dangerfield.
Carrey's up there.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something.
I see your list is highly filled with Canadian people.
Bias,
Jim
much?
Carrey.
Tiny bit.
Jim Carrey, but you could easily put a bunch of Canadians up there.
Yeah,
up there as
isn't
well.
Gaffigan from Canada too?
Gaffigan, no.
I was like, does he live in Canada?
Indiana. He loves
Indiana.
Canada. He loves Canada, but he's from Indiana.
I thought he was from
Thing is, though, comedy is subjective, and that's the beauty about comedy, because you can ask another person and they would pick 4 other people, and they're not wrong. It just depends on what you're looking at. I mean, for me, I'm blending favorites with impact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, no, this is your Mount Rushmore.
Right.
So, we not going, have a debate back and forth. I just wanted to get to pick your brain on, especially with you that has, stand up background, just
now you can't say we won't have a debate, because we are good and known for having a debate about certain things.
Well, I think for me, when you talk about comedy, like I'll take your list for instance. Some of the people you named, I would like them more in like sitcom, situational comedy more than stand up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I like Jerry Seinfeld, The Show.
I love The Show. That's my
but I didn't really connect
for stand
to his stand up.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I think what I really love about Jerry is I'm saying Jerry like I know him, but Jerry Seinfeld is the minute details of every joke. I think he waits a certain amount of time. There are pauses, there are inflections that I think he really mastered his craft.
Right.
And let the joke marinate.
Yeah. So I think that's why I put him up there.
Okay.
But for different reasons, Adam Sandler makes it for me. Eddie Murphy makes it for Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, you look at like those two, Jim Carrey as well, like they blew the doors off the place.
Right.
I think Jerry took a craft and perfected it. And then like Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Jim Carrey, like they revolutionized it.
Okay.
That's a very good explanation.
Nobody that does what they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it can be so different, but at the very basis of it, it's got to be funny. And if you're not funny, the audience will tell you, and then you're not doing it anymore.
So true.
That is true.
I mean, no disagreeing at all on that point. I mean, because the audience will tell you straight up, be like, no, bro. Because I love Kevin Hart. I do. But like after I'm starting to pull away from him because it's like I've seen that material. I've seen you do this after your first few specials. I'm not saying that he's not talented. I think he is. I just think I've seen you do that. Like I
need you to come with some harder material.
Well, not only that, just you can't sit here and keep doing the same tactics that got you popping 10 years ago.
Right. And that's my thing with Kevin Hart too. It's like his stand-up is okay. I prefer him in movies.
Yes. I prefer him in movies now.
So that's my thing with Kevin Hart. So into some point to Jeff's point too, it's subjective. I think in some ways it is cultural. In some ways it, because sometimes a comedian, you connect with them sometimes culturally. Sometimes some of the stuff they talk about connects with your situation. So I think all those factors, and then what Jeff was saying about Seinfeld is what we had said. What I said, matter of fact, we had did a comedy show when we had talked about comedians and different comedians. The one thing I mentioned about Seinfeld was that he was a technician. And that's the one thing I liked about Seinfeld, because you can see the craft unfolding as he's telling the joke.
Yeah.
And so for that way, I appreciated Seinfeld. So that way I enjoyed Seinfeld. Okay.
I think you're right about it, like how it speaks to you, because Jim Gaffigan came at a time in my life where he became a parent and I became a parent. So his humor spoke to me, because when he's talking about being up late and diaper changes in the middle of the night and all that stuff, I was doing that. I was going through all of that.
Right.
So I connected with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, changing diapers ain't nowhere close to as fun as going out to a bar and drinking. It's just not.
It's not fun.
Were you having a reminiscent moment?
You got a point there.
I still got a 3-year-old. I'm still changing diapers.
You are.
What you
That's
talking
what
about?
I said. You had a reminiscent moment. Now, one thing that you said, and actually Jamel just kind of hit back on it, is the fact that you were a technician first. How much did that open your eyes on how you wanted things to actually really be once you got to the place you are now?
Well, again, it exposed me to so many different people and personalities and what they had gone through. And I think I spent so much time behind the glass. I understood what it took, and I've only done talk radio. Like I haven't done music radio, and music radio is it's a whole other craft. There is an art to, like, okay, you might not be on the air for 13 minutes, but there is a craft to coming in and out for 1 minute and packing a punch. So there's one ain't better than the other. You know what I mean? But for talk shows, like I saw how others created a show, and I helped to create shows, but how they hosted a show, how they conducted interviews, how they handled callers, how they handled no one to talk to and talking for 13 minutes. So that really helped me, because there were some that were better than others at that. And, in all walks of life, you're going to find people that some are better than others. But I think, like, for me, it got to a point when I graduated from being a technical person to being an on-air person. And I don't mean graduated in a celebratory fashion, because if you're good, and I was good behind the glass, but for me, it got to a point where it felt too easy, but I also knew what I wanted to do. And you could stay in one place and be good at it, or you could take a risk. And for me, I wanted to take a risk and see if I had the chops to be on the air and to host a show. And it got to a point where at the radio station I was working at, there was a change in management, and it was at the time where reality shows became big.
Okay.
And there were just regular people all of a sudden becoming overnight stars because they were auditioning to do this, or they were living in that room for 30 days or whatever it was, right?
Right.
So that became a thing. So on like Friday nights and Saturday nights, I think they told producers and operators, they said, hey, if you want to host, we'll give you a shot. And I didn't think I was ready. And I thought, well, who am I? Why would anybody want to listen to me for 4 hours or whatever it was? And I heard a lot of my friends and coworkers doing shows, and I was listening to them. They were awful. And of course they were awful, because they had no experience. They were awful. But I was pissed off, I think, more at myself for not taking that leap than I was at the boss at the time. So I remember Monday morning, I marched into that boss's office and I said, I can't believe you're letting them on the air. Like I should be doing this.
Right.
Without any disrespect to them. And he said, yeah, fine. Host on Friday night. What do I care? I'm like, okay. So I hosted on Friday night. And what I did to practice was, and it was on a sports radio station. What I did to practice was I was going to pretend that I was going to do a show where I had no guests and no callers. I was going to talk about certain subjects, and I was going to, at least I thought, make it interesting. So I took a 2-hour show here in Toronto, a sports show here in Toronto. And I said, I'm going to do a show on my own with no guests and no callers. And I'm going to find stuff to talk about. So what I did was I took, being here in Toronto in sports, I took the Toronto Blue Jays, the Toronto Raptors, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And those were the 3 teams I was going to talk about. Now, I was going to talk about them over a 2-hour stretch. I broke it down into 6 segments, 2 each. For the Toronto Blue Jays, I don't remember exactly what I did, but for the Toronto Blue Jays, I was going to talk about the team itself, the players they had, and how they looked on the field. Then I was going to talk about the market, and I was going to talk about the fan base and what is expected. So
Right.
I broke so on and so forth. I did something like that with the Toronto Raptors and with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I broke down 3 different teams into 6 different topics, and I was going to talk about them on my own for, let's say, 13, 14 minutes each segment.
Right.
And I did it, and I recorded it. And I didn't even listen back to it. I did it, and I knew I could do it. And so that gave me a confidence to go on the air, and I knew I could host a show on my own without guests or hosts and make it interesting because I knew what I was actually talking about, and I knew that I could do it. And so I went on when I went on the air and I did the show. I had a confidence about me because of what I rehearsed, because I knew I could do it without anybody's help. And I don't think I would have been able to prepare myself in that way without having been a technical director and without having been a producer and put together shows in that way.
Okay.
Now that's actually interesting because I can relate to that because I do the sports show midnight Monday through Friday by myself. And when I first did it, I'll admit I probably wasn't good. Because I was afraid to even go back and listen to it, because so like even for you to say that you did 2 hours of it, I'm just doing an hour. So but
when I did my first overnight show, it was from 11 p.m. to 5:30 in the morning. It was 6.5 hours.
Wow.
And what I did was, because I had a lot of contacts, because before that, I was a producer on a morning show, so I had a lot of contacts. And when I got my own overnight show, what I did was I didn't show up at 10:55 and then did my show from 11 to 5:30 in the morning. Given the amount of time, that would have been acceptable. Right. But I showed up at 6 p.m. And I had booked times to tape interviews with all these great people. And so I would tape them. So 1, I got these great guests for overnight.
Right.
2, I broke down those 6.5 hours to 1 hour intervals. I knew that at midnight, I had a 15-minute piece of tape I was going to play that was new to the audience. So I knew if I could just get to midnight, I'd get a break, and so on and so forth for 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And at the same time, the audience, like I would get like a current Blue Jays pitcher or something. You know what I mean? And I would play it at 1 in the morning. And the audience would text in or call in and would say, "How are you getting this guy at 1 a.m.? This guy must really dig you if he's on with you at 1 a.m." Like, I talked to him at 6:30 p.m. And I didn't run till 1 a.m. And also it was a great hook. At 11 o'clock, I could say, "Hey, so-and-so of the Toronto Blue Jays is going to be joining us at 1 a.m. So people are like, "Oh my God, I got to stay up and listen to this interview at 1 o'clock. And I would also be able to say, "And you know what I'm going to ask him? I'm going to ask him this. And I can't wait to see who's going to." Meanwhile, I asked him. I knew what he was going to say. So I was able to hook it. So I was able to get through that. So if you can do the prep, and if you could record the interviews earlier, and also I would go to sporting events. So if the Blue Jays, I keep going to the Blue Jays, but if the Blue Jays were playing at 7 o'clock, I would go to the game at like 4. I would go into the locker room. I would do these interviews. And then I would go back to the radio station, cut them up, edit them out, all the ums and ahs and all that stuff, clean them up, and I would have them ready for my 11 o'clock show. So when I did my 11 o'clock show, let's say the Yankees were in town, at 11 o'clock, I'd say, "Hey, we got a great show for you. At 11 o'clock, Derek Jeter's going to be on the show." Like, you're getting Derek Jeter at 11 o'clock, but meanwhile, you hear it at 11 o'clock or at 1 a.m., and you know that it's taped from the locker room, but nevertheless, I have an interview with Derek Jeter that nobody has, and it's sitting waiting for me at 1 o'clock. So if you do the prep and you put in the hours and you put in the time, and by the end of the work week, I put in like 70 hours to do this.
I know what that feeling feels like.
But you know what? Now I do a 2-hour show in the middle of the day. That's nothing compared to a 6.5 hour show overnight.
Right.
A local show versus a national broadcast across the US and Canada in the middle of the day. That's nothing. That's a bathroom break compared to what I had.
Hold that thought. It's time for us to take another break.
You took it right out of my mouth.
Speaking of bathroom break.
Yeah, we're gonna take a commercial break. We're gonna let Jeff go take a whiz, and when we come back, we'll have more. We'll be right back, y'all.
Hi, my name's Phil, and I'm the daddy from the YouTube channel Daddy Cooks. This is a family-oriented and friendly show where you can also learn how to cook some fantastic and delicious meals. So while you're sitting at home on your computer or on your smartphone watching videos, come to Daddy Cooks on YouTube.
Han Solo. I've been waiting for this day for a long time.
And we are back. I'm over here karate chopping Jamel because he keeps bumping me like he know I don't have a personal bubble.
Did you recognize that clip, Jeff?
What is it? Who'd you talk to about it? You know,
First of all, no,
I got the inside connection, man. I got the inside connection.
Even if he did not have the inside connection,
he was gonna find it.
He will find stuff that. Listen, when I was in the hot seat, I was afraid of what he was going to find, and he knows pretty much the ins and out of my life. But I just,
hey, you want to know who found Osama bin Laden?
Oh, thank you for that.
That guy.
So
that guy there.
I know a lot of people.
He must have owed him money.
Sweet meal on
And
I love Star Wars, but can I say, guys, I also love food. And you guys are talking about Taco Bell off the top. You got a Daddy Cooks promo in the middle. Was it Billy J Sweets?
Millie J.
Billy J. Sweets.
Her company. That's her company.
My company.
Oh my God, pastry! Now you're talking pastry. I'm starving. You gotta feed your guests, man.
And normally we will. We are all chefs, so that's one thing that actually how all of us got together. Yeah, all of us are chefs.
All three of us.
Yep. So
wow. You guys got to come on and talk food with me sometime.
Hey,
no, literally, because literally, this is how we got together. So Lex and Jamel were working together at one restaurant.
Yep.
But he's Jamaican, so he has multiple jobs. So he was working at a country club, and then I got hired, and then that's how me and Jamel linked up. And then they started the podcast. Did what? One episode?
Just did one episode.
One episode with you, and then we were like, "Yo, he got."
I came in as a guest, and then they just couldn't get rid of me ever since. So, but yeah, I own my own catering company. She owns her own catering company. He has owned his own catering company.
Right.
He assists with our catering company.
And he assists with our catering company. So yeah, we all cook, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, we got to talk food at some point.
So now that you brought that up, I was gonna wait till the end, but
yeah, it's here now.
It's here now.
We got to bring you back on for a couple of things.
Yeah, man.
We can do food because we love food.
Always.
Oh yeah,
we can always do food.
We can always do food.
You gotta have him on a sports show.
We gotta. Can I do this?
Hey,
no, this is what you do to me. So I'm cutting you
Alexis
off.
is sitting in the middle, so
so we got to bring. We have to bring you on the sports show.
Thank you, Jeff.
And pick your sport brain.
Sure.
Speaking
baseball,
of that,
man, baseball. I
know you love baseball.
You want to talk baseball? I mean, to the end of time, I could talk about baseball.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
Hold your little thought.
Joe Torre and the Yankees are now 1 out away from the Yankees' 23rd World Championship. It's Wetland and Grissom. To the right side and through, a base hit. In to score is Klesko. Belliard will stop at second, and now one more hit could pull the Braves back even. 3 singles in the inning, and it's a 1-run game. Out 2-1 on Lemke. 2-2, and the Yankees are 1 strike away. Runners going, Lemke pops it foul near the dugout. And just out of the reach of Charlie Hayes. Another chance to the left side. Hayes waits. The Yankees are champions of baseball.
Do you remember that?
Charlie Hayes, man, getting a second crack. Getting a second crack at catching that foul ball and winning. Was that 96?
That's 96.
96
World Series.
Return to glory for the New York Yankees, man. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Of course.
I was a big
Yankees head, huh?
Oh,
yeah, a Yankees fan the most. I'm a baseball fan first, but a Yankees fan, and Man, that was great. I wish the Yankees could return to that glory. It's hard to fall in love with this team right now. They're really a one-trick pony right now. But
right,
yeah, right. It's home run or bust. But
exactly.
But it's still early. Still early.
Right.
Still early. But
so
I gotta say, coming into the year, I said I hope the Yankees win the AL East, but I think the Blue Jays have a real good shot at it, and I still do. I think the
Blue Jays have a great team.
Yeah, they do. If everything goes well and they're healthy, I think they have the depth to pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
But
Vlad Jr.
Yeah. Oh, Vlad is. Oh my God. And they're just adding Springer now. It's I think they can win the AL East. The Yankees, I fear, are too much of a one-trick pony. They're going to win their share of games, but I don't think it's enough to win the pennant. The Red Sox will come back down to earth. The Orioles aren't the real deal. Tampa will be in the mix, but
I would say Tampa will be somewhere in there.
So, since you're Canadian, I got to ask you this question.
Yeah.
What are the chances that we get the Expos back?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, I mean, that's been talked about for so long. It's they have to have a group behind them that is going to splash a lot of money at it, and they have to have a stadium. They have to have a location. They have to have a stadium. I think Major League Baseball wants to go there. I mean, right now it's the middle of a pandemic, but I think they want to go there. But I at the same time, I think Major League Baseball has some other things to iron out. I think they got to figure out what the Rays' future is like in Tampa.
Right.
They got to get the Oakland A's a new stadium because they play in a dump. So I don't think the Expos are next on the list, but I still hold out hope. It's too bad they left, but let's face it, their fan base wasn't big enough because they had their core fans, but they just weren't drawing enough of a crowd, and they had to go. So it was what it was, but I still hold out hope that Montreal Expos will be back one day.
I mean, I think
you should hold. No, you should hold hope because MLB just announced, I think, a couple of days ago that they're pretty much the starting price of getting the franchise $2 billion. So I don't know if there's a group out there that they got to spend it. They got to get it together, but they have some hope.
I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, the thing is, like, here in Toronto, they've got a major communications company behind them, and let's be honest, they really have them for content. They don't have them because they love this team and they want them to succeed. Of course, they want them to succeed, but what is the main priority with that club? It's content. That's what they want them for. And I think for the Montreal Expos to be successful, they either need a giant to be behind them, because even if they're not the top priority within the company, they've got so much money that they can sustain any losses they might have or growing pains. But they need an ownership group that's got a lot of money, that's all about the Montreal Expos. And I think you have to look at what the New York Mets have right now in their ownership and say, we need somebody like, I don't know if that person or that company exists in Canada, but they need something like that with the Mets. And it remains to be seen if the Mets are going to be successful.
No, don't get too much like the Mets, because they having too much, issues with how they treat women and the Mets.
Look, I'm talking from a successful business standpoint.
I was like,
talking everything. No.
Okay, I was like, don't be too much like the Mets.
They need somebody or a group that is all in on the success of that team, and will stop at nothing. And I don't know if they have that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like, please don't be 100% like the Mets. I'm like,
I'll tell you though, for the Mets, 86 Mets are my team. That is my all-time favorite team in sports.
Don't say that around Boston fans, though.
I've said worse around Boston fans. They hate me already.
Okay, so give us your all-time number one favorite moment from the game of baseball.
Well, unfortunately for Buckner, it's the game 6. Buckner threw the legs, and I interviewed Buckner about it, and I've interviewed Mookie Wilson about it as well. And the two of them had become great friends, and And Buckner said to me, he says, Mookie owes me a lot. And he says it jokingly, but it was that Buckner moment because I was very young at the time and I so desperately wanted the Mets to win the championship. And many people forget that it wasn't Game 6 that won it. They had to win it in Game 7. Right. But I thought they were dead and buried in Game 6. And I was crying and I was upset. I'm a kid, right? The Mets were one of my first real favorite teams. And, I'm a kid. I hadn't experienced losing that much. And it was they were the first team I ever won with. Okay. And I thought they were going to be the first real team that I ever lost with. But they were I thought they were done. Keith Hernandez thought they were done. He was showering. He was done. He was in the clubhouse. They were finished. And then I even at a young age, I felt at that time that I was witnessing a tremendous baseball moment. And it's not just because of the Red Sox and the curse at the time. And it wasn't just because it was in New York and it was the Mets, but it was the call of the game. It was the gravity of the moment in sports. Which is why I fell in love with sports at such a young age. Just has this flair for the dramatic. You can't make up what happened in '86. Not only with the Mets, but in that moment as well. You can't make that stuff up. And it was an amazing moment. And I remember where I was, and I remember Game 6 more than I remember Game 7 because after Game 6. You just felt as a Mets fan, you felt, how could they lose? They can't possibly lose now. Right. And they didn't.
Yeah. Right. I want to switch gears a little bit. Yeah. And
switch it up.
Switch it up.
Let's go to this.
Switch.
I'm on a mission to becoming the best personal trainer that I can be. Join me as I walk you through some vital tools that will help me become the best. One more. Good. That's good. Now let's review. The chest supports.
Yeah, we're back.
The abdominals.
Lower back.
The quads.
Uterus.
No, it's the hamstrings.
Right.
Just as Mike is continuously learning from me, I have to continuously learn on my path to becoming a great personal trainer. There's so many ways to learn. The classroom, clients, magazines, internet, and many more. But I promise you, I'm going to find them all because I want to be the best.
Train or be trained.
Do you recognize that person?
Who is that?
Who is that guy?
I'm more weak in the fact that he said the uterus.
You're going to have to explain that video to me, sir.
No, you have to explain it to me, though. I need the explanation.
I need some details.
Please explain that whole entire video.
Who, me?
Yes,
you.
I have no clue what that video is. Am I supposed to know? Is he like a long lost son of mine or something?
Some guy named Jeff Sammut made that
Get
video.
out. He has my name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, clearly he's brilliant. So must be from the name. I have no idea. I have never met a Jeff Sammut before. Sammut's a very common name from where my parents are from. My parents are from Malta, and Sammut's like Smith there. But I have no clue who that guy kind of looks like me. Unfortunately, he's got the same nose.
Yeah.
And got the kind of same eyes. I've never seen that before in my life. I don't Google myself. So
I got to show Jeff this video.
That's good. Well, if I want to be trained, I know who to go to.
There you go.
Train or be trained.
Train or be trained, and know that it's part of the uterus as a man. Oh,
Right.
okay.
I have been trained more than trained. That's for sure. For sure.
Listen, it has been a absolute pleasure sitting down talking with you. It will definitely not be the last.
No.
Because you are an entire hoot. I love it.
No, I love it because I think you're a Swiss Army knife because your show has a lot of different topics and subjects. I think I was listening to the episode where I can't remember her name, but she wrote a book about the Jewish people dealing with the Nazis in Toronto.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was this week. Yeah. Man. Yeah. Well, look, at the end of the day, you have to be interested in what you're talking about, and I think I've got an enthusiasm for who I speak with and what we're talking about, and I think that translates to the audience. And if it's interesting for them, then if it's interesting for me, I think it's gonna be interesting for them. So, but I appreciate that, and I appreciate the kind words and the this is your life feeling that I've gotten for the past 45 minutes or so. I really appreciate all of that. Thank you, guys. And anytime you want to talk, man, it'd be my honor.
Before you go,
yeah,
I need you to tell me. I heard that you can pound a bag of chips like nobody's business.
Oh my goodness!
What are your favorite? What are your and butter tarts too? But what are your favorite chips?
Ruffles barbecue. It's there's no competition. Ruffles barbecue. I mean, you give me one of those, it's not gonna last long. I will devour it. It'll be gone.
Oh no.
I see it.
Oh no. Hot Cheetos, what I snack on.
I see it.
Hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
I got some of those in the car. Yeah. I see an eating competition when we come to Canada. Because we like to eat chips around here and popcorn, and we just fat kids all day long around here.
Yeah, we're far from slim.
Listen, far from it. We slimmed down, but we still chubby kids.
Yeah.
Okay, we slimmed down. Listen, y'all make sure to tune in on Monday through Friday on channel 167 and have a ball with Jeff on Canada Talks, if I can talk. On Sirius XM, you guys. Listen,
from 1 to 3.
From 1 to 3. It's an amazing show. All of us have listened to it.
Matter of fact, go ahead and plug everything you got right now.
Yeah, man.
One more time, Jeff.
Let them know where
the audience can find you.
Well, again, Sirius XM Canada Talks channel 167, 1 to 3. The show's called Canada Now. It's Monday to Friday. It's 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern. And at Jeff Sammut on Twitter. I always love to hear from you. And at Sammut Jeff for a very boring follow on Instagram.
I feel bad. I'm the same way on Instagram.
Don't feel
Social
bad.
media is just hard to do when you got a whole other world of stuff.
Oh my
going
God,
on.
I got kids and a life. How many things do we need?
Take care
Isn't the show enough? Isn't the show enough?
This thing stays glued to my hands just for that reason.
No, but I love the feature that you can, put it at one and then connect it to the rest of it. So
thank you, business.
It's getting easier. It's getting easier.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, we're gonna let you go. You are now part of our family, like we like to say. You are now kinfolk. You're a part of the IOW team. So anything that you need from us and support, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, man. It is amazing talking with you. We're gonna go ahead and let you go.
Thanks,
and
man.
we are going to wrap it up.
I hope your dad's feeling better too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, not a good time with my dad, but such is life. When you get to mid 40s, you say hello to people and you say goodbye to people. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know that feeling all too well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Man.
Prayers up for real.
Appreciate it.
Have a great one.
Have a good one, Jeff.
You too, guys.
Listen, Jeff is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was another amazing show, guys. If you missed out, listen, you can catch the replay Friday at 6 p.m. for those who are tuning in live with us via Facebook and other platforms.
Right.
You can also catch it live on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the app. So go download IOW Network. IOW Network, okay?
Let me say this. If you download it on Android, Camille Lamar had to figure this out.
Yes.
Make sure you put the periods in and no spaces.
So it's I.O.W. Network.
Right.
No space.
No space.
Yeah. This is why y'all just need to go over the app.
No, because literally me and Mel, because they can't tell them, they say it's live.
You told me it's live. I just put it in there. And they sending me stuff back. And then Lamar said, I tried with no space. It came. I said, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Listen. We are team iPhone. He's team Android.
I figured it out. Damn it, we good. That's why I was like, look, let's put the link on the page. Have them click it.
I wasn't going to throw shade though. I wasn't going to throw shade. It actually works. No, I wasn't this time. It actually works out perfectly because we go through the process before y'all go through the process.
Yeah.
So we make sure everything is 100 before
everything
we get to you guys. With Apple products, with Android, with Lenovo, with HP, with Dell. We got all this Sony. We got all this stuff in the studio. So you know what I'm saying? We make sure that you guys are. We got
it correct before we put it out there. That is available.
Yeah, because if not, we just message Jamel until he gets tired of responding to us. Like, hey, fix this. Sir, there's a blank spot here. I don't know what happened around
Fix
3
that.
and 4.
Fix it.
Listen, we've got so much more coming up, guys. Listen, once you get the app, you'll be able to see everything. You'll hear some good music. If you are a independent artist, independent artist, I need y'all to listen very, very closely.
Get the email.
Please send your material in to ioftenwonder19@gmail.com.
Right.
Again, that's ioftenwonder19@gmail.com. Listen, we are here to support y'all. This internet radio station, we are here to build as a team, as a country, as a whatever you want to put it as.
Family.
We are family,
all
everything. So please send in your music. Everything. If you know somebody who's an independent artist who does not know the show, share the show with them.
First of all, let's be real. Don't be sitting on with no poo poo. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Listen,
you're gonna be vetted.
I'm gonna tell you that
you will be reviewed.
If none of your kinfolk ever told you, like, no, baby, that ain't it.
Right.
You know, if you got the people that say, yeah, dog, it's fire, but behind your back,
it's not American Idol.
Yeah,
because we will review it. And we will kindly send you an email back saying, thank you for your submission. However,
no, he ain't gonna get no however. That shit just ain't gonna get played.
We appreciate your submission.
Well, if I email you back
at this time,
if I email you back, it'll be politically correct. If these two email you back, I'm sorry for you, dog. Also,
I ain't emailing back.
He's just not gonna respond. I'll at least email you back.
I ain't saying shit to you.
Also, on Sundays for our gospel family.
Yes.
Please, preachers, missionaries, if you call yourself a prophet, whatever you want to call yourself,
deacons and deaconesses.
If you are the best scripture reader in the church, please also hit us up on the email.
Jesus is on.
Matter of fact, in mid-May, we have a church already on and work on the background and others. So we got New Bethel, AME.
Oh, shout out to New Bethel.
And if you listen to our 28 podcast, 28 days, that is Dr. Abdul Knox Church.
Man, that was a great interview. He was very energetic. I love
his church will be on Sundays, and then I'm in talks with Bishop Locklear to get his church on Sunday. So we're adding more content to the radio station.
And that's not only we're not just only talking about preachers. We're also talking about independent gospel singers.
Right.
Yeah. I have a few that I'm about to hit up because I just thought about your name. So go ahead and make sure that you guys.
Your ass can sing.
We want to
not sing. I'm talking about sing.
All right, you got a community choir. All that. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this on up. We're gonna wrap it on up. Just stay tuned to all the social media platforms. We got a lot coming. So until next time, y'all know the time every Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are your favorite podcast, Gang. I'm your girl, Black Papa Walters.
Walk on.
And the man with the master plan, Detroit Melly Mel. Until next time, we're out.